All right, preparing live stream. Make sure the doors closed so kids don't run in. my daughter. Happens sometimes.
Yeah, I was used to that with the marathon Zoom meetings at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here.
How's my video look?
It looks very good, much better than mine. I have a kind of a poor camera on my side, I find that I need to use something separate here. Okay, so let's share my PowerPoint and we'll stand by here and get started here in just 2 minutes. 1 second.
That was kind of funny. You just disappeared you got up and turned around and just disappeared in the wall.
Just disappeared. Magical, right? Yeah, magical. Okay, let's see. Starting the webinar now. And we'll see people are going to start rolling in right now. Okay. And they are coming in. All right, everyone we're going to get started in just less than 2 minutes here. I appreciate everyone's attendance here. And I'll just let everyone get a chance to get in, slowly trickling in here. All right. All right, we're not going to punish those that are on time. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for our first Tech Talk, where we're going to be dedicating 20 minutes every month just to technology and bringing in a fantastic speaker. We have Mike Miller here today from TWG Security, and we're going to talk a little bit about challenges in the security market with doing design, and in particular with doing 2D and 3D designs and with existing facilities when we don't always have accurate information, and looking to different technologies to help to solve that problem. So Mike, could do a little bit of an introduction to yourself and your company, and tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Well, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you having me on. This is an exciting field, and looking forward to growing this and working with you. My name is Michael Miller, President, CEO of TWG Security. Been in the physical security business for going on 14 years. Previous to that, I come from the custom AV world, home automation, and fun stuff like that. So about 20 years experience in the low voltage world.
Excellent, excellent. And when I talk to those in security, they say Mike Miller knows his stuff. So if you want it done right, TWG does a great job. So Mike, tell me a little bit about the challenges. You've been 14 years doing this kind of work. What challenges do you see, like with the site survey, with doing security designs, to kind of move from 2D to 3D, and kind of managing all the communication with your team? What does that look like today for the professional? What are you doing different, and what have you done in the past?
Well, great question. Over the years, we've always been trying to optimize this workflow. You're going out meeting with clients, you may have floor plans, you may have accurate floor plans, you may be working with a photo on a wall of a fire escape. But then, you're basically, in charge of designing a very complex system, and I got to tell people where to install stuff and design it. So, walking around with clients, you're trying to take pictures, you're trying to take notes, you're trying to listen to the client's needs, so you can deliver a solution that they're looking for. But then on top of that, you have to gather all of this data and get it in a palatable form so you can hand it over to your team members and they can run with it. And, this is something that's always been a challenge for us. And, when we started talking with Kelly and getting involved with 3D scanning, some light bulbs starting to go off. And I'm like, I think we might have something here that can really revolutionize what we're doing for our clients.
Excellent. And have you felt that the pandemic is making it more difficult to get information? How is that affecting you as a business today?
Yeah, obviously we're doing a lot of remote stuff now, and, being able to go in a building one time and scan the building and literally take a digital twin that's accurate to millimeters back to my office and have my entire team look at it instead of one person, one engineer out in the field rushing around, with clients who have, much better things to do than spend all day with us. So, it's been useful for us in current conditions.
Great. Yeah, I appreciate sharing that. So tell me about the evolution here. You started some research. How long ago was that? What types of technology we were looking at? What did you learn from those? And where did you end up?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, we started, you have a picture up here, but, a simple 360 photo camera several years ago, which worked out great. I mean, I can walk in, I can push a single button and capture an entire 360 photo of a room. And it worked out great. I'm a very visual person. So, if I take the photos, and I look at them a couple of days later, I know exactly where I was in the building, but I can't just, dump a whole bunch of photos on my engineering team and they look at me like, I don't know where this stuff is. So, I've been trying to kind of, for lack of a better term, build our own Google Street View, right? Where I can take those photos and drop them on a plan and, it makes it easier for people to understand. But, trying to reduce the production time. I don't want to hire somebody just to sit here and put photos on a plan and manage that whole process. So trying to keep it simple.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting that you mentioned, kind of Google Street View and that, you can retain that information because you remember you were there. But if you weren't there, it's so hard to deal with a Dropbox account with hundreds of photos and try to make sense of the orientation. What does this really mean? And that really provokes us to have to be on site. Like I see it, it gives me some information, but I really need to be there to validate and understand that this is accurate information or where it lays out, especially with egress and other things. And I've done site surveys myself, or my team has, and I have never been on site. And the one cool thing about visualization, 3D information, as you consume it, it works with your muscle memory in such an amazing way. I've been on site to properties where I've never been there. And because I've been in the tours a number of times, whether it be 3D scans or not, my memory is just unbelievable. I can remember the color, the carpet, where things are, and it's just how we are as humans and how we consume data. But talk to us a little bit about the Lidar side of this too.
Yeah, one of the challenges that we had, taking, standard photos with, your camera or your phone is, every time we've done that, you kind of, oh man, I wish I would have taken a picture of this, or I wish I would have had a picture of that. With the Lidar, we can scan the whole building and it's literally taking a digital twin of that building back to the office, and have, like you just mentioned, like we can virtually walk through that building like you were there. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, the 3D technologies we're talking about 100% capture so that you don't have this bias of who's taking a picture here, there, and forgetting something, especially if you don't have experienced people on site that know what they're looking for, right? You have a junior guy out there, just take everything and we don't miss anything, right? Yep. So you want to talk a little bit about maybe your experiences with the iPhone, SLAM, terrestrial. We're getting into some kind of technical words here, but kind of what did you take out of your experience kind of going through this evaluation process?
Yeah, we've played with terrestrials. We got our hands on the SLAM scanner, and I have, an iPad and an iPhone with the Lidar and the 3D. So I played with it all, and it really comes down, in my experience, for our needs is speed, right? We want to try and capture things as fast as possible, and we don't want to have, production. I don't want to spend days back at the office, massaging this data. So, we decided to go with the SLAM scanner and my beautiful hat there. The day we got the scanner, so that was a lot of fun. And really, honestly, it's about speed, and every one of those tools on the screen, the terrestrial versus the SLAM, they're different needs for different things, right? For us, speed was king, but if you need, higher detail, longer range, then you're looking at a terrestrial, but, then it's going to take you more time to do those scans. And eventually, as I see us growing this, I do see us, adding a terrestrial to our mix. I mean, the RTC 360 is an amazing piece of technology right there.
Absolutely. And, it really comes down to engineering millimeter accuracy with a terrestrial and very clean looking photographic type point clouds versus, this is a functional tool. It's not quite as accurate, but it's definitely more accurate than pulling a tape measure. And it's fast as hell. It's fast as walking through. So mobility, I think, is a really key aspect. That's something we do visual plan with using the 360 imagery, 360 video now. So whether it's just 360 imagery that you need, but if you need measurement, you need to get 2D or 3D CAD, a SLAM unit is really a great way to go. So I have another example. We kind of were playing with some 2D SLAM here. So just giving the audience an example of about a 50,000 square foot footprint from a lower cost sensor that can generate a diagram or something to trace over and 360 imagery at the same time. This is about a 5-minute walkthrough with the SLAM. And then on the other side, 20 minutes of the photographs, about 133 Panos, just kind of giving you what's possible. And I'll run this video in the background showing kind of immersive, whether it be a point cloud, which we'll show in a second, or whether it be imagery. There's a lot of opportunity where visualization plays a critical role to remove people from the job site, but keep their foot in the job site virtually. And also comes with, tagging assets and bringing in other type of rich media and documentation and whatnot. We did also play with the iPhone on this particular project, and I'm really impressed to where we're going with a sensor on a phone. It's really quite innovative, but definitely some limitations on accuracy and scale and size. So, if you have a small room and you want to knock out a floor plan and, a few inches or more is not a problem, sure, that fits the bill, right? But if you're looking at bigger structures, 2D SLAM was a good idea, or getting in a BLK is the way to go. So this is a point cloud generated from the iPhone, and we actually we're on site. We imported that raw file format right from the job site and the SLAM as well directly to our software. So just showing some different accuracy differences, different abilities to capture data. But again, it depends on what your outputs are and what you need.
Yeah, I definitely think the iPhones are going to help bring awareness to Lidar. I mean, now when people are really, they have it in their pocket now, and I find myself, I love technology. Been since I was a little kid, I absolutely loved it. And, it's kind of like, some of the dreams that I had was younger. Some of the stuff I saw on television or movies is now, I can literally, have it in my hand and create some really cool stuff with it. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the iPhones. And it's good for us too, because like a lot of clients they've never heard of Lidar. So I can pull out my iPhone, do a quick scan and show them instantly what it's going to look like, and then say, hey, I can do this on a much bigger scale with the right tools.
Absolutely. And a quick question from the audience. SLAM. SLAM is an acronym for the type of laser scanning that we are dealing with here. And it's not a brand, so just the technologies we're using are SLAM based if they're mobile. And I can get into a technical conversation, but we'll keep that offside. I can answer that, but unless you have anything to add to that, Mike.
No, I think we're good there.
Okay, talk to us what we're seeing here. This is generated from the BLK. What are you doing with the data? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this is actually one of our first scans we did. This is actually our new office that we're in. And, probably took us maybe an hour for this. And, again, this is right when we got the unit. So we're just, getting acclimated with the optimum way to scan buildings. But, even if it took us an hour to scan a building, it's about 12,000 square feet. You can get very accurate diagrams, and again, what Kelly was saying earlier, this is, if you're looking for beautiful, this is not it. This is giving you accurate data that you can create plans and understand elevations of your projects.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, trace over, create 2D, 3D designs, how long would that take you from a tape measure or a light meter, which is what we used in the past, right?
Yeah. And we never, in the physical security world, to go around and measure an entire building like that, it would just take forever for us to do that. So, you're typically just sketching something down on a napkin and, hoping for the best.
Yeah, yeah. And that prone for rework and change orders and mistakes and miscommunication and multiple site visits. And at the end of the day, we're talking about costs, right? So,
Yep.
what is the cost? You do have to pay to invest in technology and to get climatized with the software a little bit, but you got to look at the ROI. What do you save from this, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah, not only doing the design work, but I also have to, tell a bunch of technicians where to install stuff, and if I can, put cameras, precise locations in 3D space and, have our technician, literally walk through a digital version of the building before they even go on site, there's some massive amount of efficiencies we can gain from that.
yeah, absolutely. And, we're looking at interface from visual plan here where we have some particular annotations that were given to the field tech. So again, a subject matter expert or your high priced person back at office can now be virtually on site instructing and giving feedback without actually having to be there and to correct problems before they go wrong. So we got the 3D BIM model on the right, we got the point cloud on the left, we have the overview below with the 2D CAD, and all of those blue dots represent 360 imagery. So we got all things 2D and 3D in one place, and you can toggle between point cloud and imagery, or just looking at the BIM. We use Autodesk's Forge plugin, which brings in any type of BIM file, which are be Revit or Naviswork or SketchUp files, or IFC is a common file format. So bringing in the 3D and getting that information out to other people. That's the biggest thing for us, I think, is that, the 3D designs always live with the designer and the engineer. But what about the installer? What about the other contractors? There's so many people that have value to have this information. Why can't they get access? And why can't they get a software that is easy to use as Google Street View, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when we first got the scanner to play around with, we scanned a project, just we're trying to test it out. We had about a 40,000 square foot building. We went out and scanned it about half an hour, 45 minutes. And the client was amazed. We were able to produce accurate floor plans, including the warehouse of all the racking and everything the next day. And then they were able to, they wanted to see what the camera would look like if it was mounted up in the rafters. What would they see? And we're able to go in the cloud point, orientate our view, and give them an approximate of what it would look like. And they were just completely blown away. And we won the project because of it. So it's definitely adds some powerful tools for physical security.
It's a big differentiator, and it's really interesting because security is on the forefront of technology, I find. They have such cool technologies and there's such awareness. But when it comes to 3D and BIM and design, it's actually new, isn't it? It's like you're not at the same places where the traditional civil and architectural engineering firms are, where they've been in this world for 10 years. And I think you're at the forefront of kind of bringing this technology to security, so that's great. But any thoughts on that, and on the value of cloud sharing here?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I've been in the technology since I can, remember, and I didn't know this existed. We started looking around and like, wow, what's this 3D laser scanning thing? And then started diving into it, and we got connected, and it's amazing, and not just in the physical security, but there's so many uses for this in the world. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing where this can go, and what we're going to be able to do with it, and all the other uses that we can use on top of it. That's one of the other exciting things. You know, we talk about using this for a client for physical security, but what else can the client use this for documenting, you know, systems? You know, I think that's one of the most exciting things that I'm excited for with this is, you know, tying information to precise locations. You know, if I can take all of our physical documentation for our clients and actually locate that information in a 3D scan. So, you know, one of our support engineers or a technician goes on site, he knows exactly where to go, and he has all the information at his fingertips when he gets there.
Absolutely. All things 2D, 3D, geospatially tagged, and a username and a password, and you got that information. It really is quite cool. And this whole concept of asset tagging is really complex. I mean, we're dealing with spreadsheets and different documents and who has it, you know. Getting it into the cloud is really valuable, and get it into 3D, that's how our brains work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I think there's also value through the process when you start to work with general contractors and construction companies that use, you know, established project management software like Procore, PlanGrid, or those working with BIM 360. So that the audience, all of those are bidirectionally synced, that we work with those platforms so you can send your RFIs, your issues back and forth seamlessly. And this is actually, our interface is actually embedded directly in Procore. So you can, you know, have the virtual job site within project management, which is pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
And as you're mentioning, asset tagging is similar to RFIs and issues. We're just basically geospatially tagging information to the tour. So it could be documents, it could be video, it could be web links, that sort of thing. And then to be able to generate some type of reports quickly with a single button. So this is an asset tagging report that I generated from our software. It shows the 2D, it shows the area of interest, and a snapshot of the asset, what we're talking about. The cool thing about these reports is they're dynamic, meaning that I can touch the link at the top of this report. It brings me directly to the visualization, and not only to the visualization or digital twin, but to the exact location within that tour. You can have a big complex hospital, it brings me to the exact room and perspective view. And not only is the data available from the imagery and the annotation, but Lidar, BIM, anything that's hosted in that environment is also available for you.
Yeah, it's almost like a digital glass table where I can throw, you know, all of the data that we gather and then, you know, correlate it together. So it makes sense, you know, for people who haven't been on site, you know, they can understand, you know, what the information is, and most importantly, where it is on the project.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, there's a lot of value post-commissioning. You know, we do this to our owners all the time as we build all these materials, and we do this data dump on them. Here's their instruction manuals and the drawings and the pictures, and there you go, make sense of it. And the unfortunate thing is that data just gets stored somewhere, unfortunately, in a file cabinet in the full days if it was physical, and in someone's desktop folder, but who gets to see it? Who gets to use it? So having a cloud platform and have everything there allows facility operations to use this on an ongoing basis. And there's a ton of value in maintenance, and you'll be able to use this with new tenant improvements and all sorts of things when you need to change building and manage building information.
Yeah, sharing information is you know, one of our biggest challenges. You know, we document everything very meticulously on our projects, but you know, every time we hire a new, you know, employee, getting them up to speed on things is a challenge. But now, if I can tie all that data to a 3D scan, to a 3D design, and they can literally walk through the building, it's just going to make it so much easier to share information with team members.
Yeah, and with the deep links, we're able to take asset information notes and link that into facility softwares, even to analytics. So if you're interested to learn more, give us a call. We're going to keep this to 20 minutes, as I promised. I know everyone has little time, and we're getting zoomed to death. So we're going to keep these to 20 minutes. I think we had a lot of great conversation. I have a much more detailed blog I'm going to post on our company page just after this presentation later tonight. We have live streamed this through YouTube, so this presentation is recorded. Will be posted to YouTube and also our company page. So please take a moment, if you enjoyed the presentation today, go to our LinkedIn company page and connect so that you can be involved with future meetings. Also, we do have another webinar in just 2 days, actually, on facility management, managing operational change with Duke Energy and some really cool speakers. So it's going to be a great full hour session. If you'd like to book a demo, feel free to just book one online, and I'd be happy to step you through the software. Or if you want a free test drive, just let me know. For everyone on here today, we are going to be doing a draw on our next Tech Talk in March, actually, on the March Tech Talk. I'll be giving away 360 cameras for anyone that's attended. Not everyone, we're going to give away one camera, but we'll be doing that for those that are attending. And Mike, I want to really thank you a lot for not only the time working with us on technology, but the time you spent today sharing your wisdom and your thoughts. And I wish you all the success. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah, same here, Kelly. You've been a wealth of knowledge, and I truly appreciate you helping us. Love working with you, and looking forward to seeing your product grow.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, everybody. You have a great day. Coffee's done. Get back to work, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah. I think we have one more question. That was just a thank you. So yeah, I think this is a kind of light environment. Dive into the tech, talk a little bit about it, share it, and get out. And I think these will be a nice little series moving forward.
Cool. Yeah, love to help when I can. We're, this is the start of our streaming room right here. So,
Great.
I want to be able to jump in, do professional looking videos and have conversations with people like this. So whatever I can do to help, here again, I truly appreciate, chatting to wee hours of the morning and sharing information. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I'm not the only one crazy tech guy in the world.
There's a lot of us tech geeks out there, so it's nice to meet a fellow geek in technology. Thanks, Mike.
Well, thank you very much. Have a great